She was fantastic, not only on this project, but also in making sure that Red Hook came back even more resilient after Hurricane Sandy. So Ms. Marshall and her team really deserve all of our support and all of our accolades and appreciation. My partner, Commissioner Margarita Lopez, who heads up NYCHA's effort around greening and sustainability. All of the NYCHA staff, the Department of Sanitation, and the Department of Parks and Recreation. I want to thank all of them, really on behalf of the entire NYCHA community, for coming together and doing something we can all be very proud of. I also know that although Assemblyman Ortiz couldn't be with us, he is represented today by Mitu Alam, and so I want to thank the Assemblyman for his support in this initiative, but again, all his hard work around Hurricane Sandy. You've really demonstrated through this collaboration, dedication, and vision the triumph to turn asphalt into a place of plenty. Together we are promoting local agriculture and making NYCHA communities stronger, healthier, and more sustainable. Our hard work has built something that's enduring and will pay dividends not just today but in the future. This farm will educate our youth, train them for green careers. All of us care about ensuring that the economy works for our children and our children have an opportunity to work in the new economy, and this is one example of giving them a real path to long-term careers. Already, NYCHA and Green City Forest have recruited over 20 residents for hands-on training at this farm alone. Let's give them a round of applause for that. With the assistance of the Mayor's Obesity Task Force, Red Hook will also serve as a model for 5 more farms at NYCHA sites throughout the city, benefiting thousands of New Yorkers. So this is just a pilot that will be followed up by many more. A tireless champion of the environment, NYCHA is completely committed to spearheading environmental measures that significantly lower energy consumption, reduce our carbon footprint, enhance staff efficiency, and most importantly, improve the quality of life of public housing residents. From the very beginning, NYCHA has been a staunch ally in Mayor Bloomberg's comprehensive strategy for sustainability, Plan NYC, turning bold, innovative ideas into initiatives that help ensure the future of public housing and of our planet. NYCHA has reduced our total carbon emissions by 140,000 tons. To give you a sense what that is, from 2005 to 2010, that's the equivalent of taking 29,000 cars off of the roads. So we've worked hard to be a good steward of the environment. Whether it's been working on cool roofs with the mayor, blue roofs, energy efficient technology, or resident education, NYCHA's truly been at the vanguard of improving our communities and making them more sustainable. And key to our success is our green agenda and our engagement of our residents. For instance, there are 20 resident green committees that inspire their fellow residents to join the crusade and to help make the kind of impact that we're having here today. And of course, we would not be able to transform our communities without all of our talented partners, many who aren't with us here today. Councilmember Sarah Gonzalez, I mentioned Assemblymember Felix Ortiz, State Senator Valmet Montgomery, and Congresswoman Nydia Velasquez. So I want to thank our board again. Also, I see our board member, Victor Gonzalez, who's in the front row. Victor is the first resident to be on the NYCHA Executive Board, and he has a lot to say and to do in terms of ensuring that our community participates in these kinds of activities. So now I'd like to turn the mic over to my partner, someone who's devoted her entire career to building a healthy, vibrant New York City, Deputy Mayor Linda Gibbs.
This is so exciting. It's so great. You know, you can't walk by these beds without grabbing a little bit and tasting it, and maybe curling your nose up a little bit on some of them. But it's no, I love my vegetables. This is an exciting project for me because it brings together 2 of the initiatives that I work hard on and care a lot about, and it puts them together in a really beautiful way. The first is the work of the Mayor's Obesity Task Force that John mentioned. And we took a different approach to looking at the question of obesity in the city. We have our traditional agencies like the Department of Health and the Department of Parks and Recreation, the folks that you would expect to be involved in something like that. But the thing that we did that was different is we gathered in all the other agencies, sanitation and NYCHA and HPD and police and everybody, aging, and said we want everybody to think about what role they can play in tackling this obesity epidemic in the city. Just think about the numbers. 58% of adults in New York City are either obese or overweight. 58%, almost 2 out of 3. For children, that number is 40%. So these are scary, scary numbers. The good news is in New York City, we actually have started to see, and this is the first place in the country where we started to see a little tick down for the young people. And so this initiative is part of that comprehensive approach to say, if we're going to move those numbers, we're going to reverse this terrible trend and move them in the opposite direction, we've got to have everybody involved. And it's great to do it in a place like Red Hook here in the NYCHA development, where we know that there's a shortage of supermarkets, of greengrocers, of farmers markets. We know that there needs to be a greater access to fresh fruits and vegetables. And having the young people and the residents be able to walk by, maybe grab a little snack on the way home, or be part of harvesting and selling this, and just see where your food comes from is really part of this broader effort to integrate it into our lives, to bring it back onto our tables, and to make it part of our daily living. The second initiative that is married to this is the Mayor's Young Men's Initiative, where we've been focusing on efforts to reduce social disparities for Black and Latino boys in New York City, looking at employment, education, justice, and health. And this initiative is working closely with 2 of our partners, and I remember Ian and Lizbeth's first name, and I'm going to pull out my paper to remember their last name. But we're partnering with them to, through subsidized employment and job training, hire young people from NYCHA to work as part of this initiative. And so it's bringing jobs and work experience to our young people in the development, and it's also making part of that experience their own exposure to healthy eating and nutrition. And so really, really, really exciting. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Red Hook Houses and all of the NYCHA staff for making this possible. Thank you for the beautiful design, the layout of these beds and everything I think, you know, it just draws you in. You just want to come and eat your vegetables. And so, John has introduced others, but let me also thank, and now I'm gonna do them the honor of remembering their last names. First is our Ian Marvey, who's the executive director of Green City. Oh no, excuse me, of Added Value. Thank you, Ian. And then Lizbeth Shepard, who's the executive director of Green City Force, and Lizbeth and Green City Force just received a couple of weeks ago the mayor's first Innovation in Social Services Award in New York City. We put out a competition to look for ideas. You know, we think, you know, we're down at City Hall, we got all the smart ideas, and then we said, no, hold it. The reason we're so great in New York City is that we have these great community groups and nonprofits partners who are coming up with the good ideas, and that's why we know about good stuff. And so we reached out across the city, and the top award went to Lizbeth and her group, and so thank you for your great partnership. So thank you very much. Eat well.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Gibbs. Our next speaker is my dedicated colleague, Commissioner Margarita Lopez. So many of you know her, so she really doesn't need any introduction. But I am proud to say that the huge strides I talked about in terms of reducing our carbon footprint and